The pre-season testing is over, now begins the real work for the teams as they aim for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. Round one of a tough race calendar begins here in Australia. Anthony Davidson joins me in the commentary box for the first practice session of the season. The teams will be visiting tracks across 5 continents as they battle it out for both the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championships. What race on the calendar do you think the teams will have a special eye on this year?
Well, I think the teams will be looking forward to the Mexican Grand Prix, which is being held back at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. It was last run way back in 1992.
This year sees Honda return to the sport, reforming one of the greatest partnerships in F1 history with McLaren. Do you think they can rekindle the success they had during the 80s and the 90s?
It won't be easy, but yes, I think so. It's been a tough few years for McLaren with the loss of Hamilton, Mercedes withdrawing as a shareholder and major investor in the team, and losing technical director Paddy Lowe. This could mark the start of their return to prominence.
Okay, this is Jeff, can you hear me? Radio check looks good, system check looks good. Just want to say it's a pleasure to have you on the team, and I hope we have a lot of success together. Tell me if you need anything, otherwise, get out there and show us what you've got.
Hey there guys, it's Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is the first episode of my F1 2015 career mode, and we are here at Albert Park and I'm driving as Kimi Raikkonen for this entire season, and I'm going to drive my favourite car, which is the Ferrari, and I can't wait for this, and it should be a very exciting season. And we're here, as you can see, at Albert Park, and we're currently in practice and we're just getting a feel for it. We're just turning a couple of laps and we're going to see how the car feels around this brilliant circuit. And as you can see, we're just doing a nice easy lap to start off with. Just going to take a nice and easy on the Friday. We're doing a not a short race. I think it's a short race weekend. I'm not sure. It's the one where you've got I think half an hour practice session, short qualifying, which is 15 minutes, and then a 50% race. So as you can see, we're here at Albert Park, and I picked the Ferrari because that's a car that I feel more or less matches my pace, and that should allow me to have a good race. I will be doing qualifying for this series because I know a lot of you guys may know that in my previous career modes I've always started from the back, but I will be doing qualifying for this one for a change, just going to switch it up a bit and hopefully we can try and do really good. I'm definitely looking forward to the career mode on this game. I'm going to spoil it saying after this race I'm really enjoying this game. This game it started off really bad and it's still very buggy, but it's definitely starting to pay off, and I'm actually enjoying it. Once you get into it a bit and you turn some laps and get a feel for it, it's definitely very rewarding, and it's definitely a very enjoyable game. And as you can see, we're finishing a lap here at Albert Park, and we're going to put up DRS as we go down the pit straight. We're going to set a benchmark lap time for the session, but that's basically going to be our only kind of main lap of the session, just to get a feel for it, because as you'll see in a minute, turns out that there's a bit of rain for the entire weekend, so we're going to have to see how that pans out. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into qualifying here at Albert Park.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. With the first qualifying session of the season about to start, we should find out the performance level of the new cars and who might be contenders for this year's championship. But with rain falling, it's going to mix up the field.
We expect the Mercedes power unit to be strong this season, but with today's weather, we may not get a true indication of which team came out strongest from pre-season testing.
So here we are then, it's qualifying here at Albert Park, and just like Crofty and Anthony Davidson said, it's a bit of a wet one here at Australia, and it's definitely not the sort of conditions that I wanted, but as you can see, we're actually on the intermediates here for qualifying, and at the time I recorded this, I've never driven a wet track, so this was a new territory for me on this brand new game. And we're going to go out a couple of minutes into the session once everyone's set a lap, and as you can see, all the cars are in the pits, which is going to allow us to have a nice free track for ourselves, and hopefully we can try and set some benchmark laps on these intermediates. And as you see in a minute, we're going to come across now and finish our first time lap, which would be a run of about 3 or 4 time laps, and we're actually going to go 3rd place, so not too bad, an okay lap there to get things going, and hopefully we can improve on that. And as you see, we skipped further on into the session with only a minute pretty much to go, and the reason for that is because I did that 4 lap run that I said I was going to do. But turns out, just like in real life, Codemasters have managed to replicate the intermediates in terms of their wear to be synced up with real life. So what that means is basically your first time lap is your best lap, and then the second lap, and then the third lap, and then the fourth lap will get worse and worse. So you've got to make your first and only time lap count on these intermediates. And as you can see, I'm back on track, and I've actually got a fresh set of inters on. I've decided to take the gamble because I wanted to save 3 sets of inters for the race tomorrow, because it turns out that there is rain for tomorrow and we might need the tyres. But I've decided to take a gamble to try and get myself high up the grid, because I'm actually down in 6th place right now, and we've decided to take the gamble, go onto the inters and sacrifice a set of tyres from tomorrow's race to try and get us higher up in the grid. And so far it's been a really good lap. As you saw a moment ago, we're actually half a tenth up in the first sector as we get awfully close there to the wall going down this back straight, and hopefully we can keep this lap together. We might be able to get ourselves up the grid, because so far it's been a very clean and tight lap as we go through the left-right chicane. And as you can see, it's very nice and clean there, no extending or cutting, very, very nice. Like I said, it's a clean lap, and it's really good so far as we're behind a bit of traffic, who I believe is Sergio Perez. Hopefully it doesn't put us off too much, because there's only a couple of corners left as the checkered flag has fallen here up the park, and Rosberg improves on his lap and goes even faster for pole position. That's surely going to be a hard time to beat as we lock up into the penultimate corner, which is going to surely compromise our lap and cost us a couple of tenths at least. But we're still going to try and keep focus and try and finish off this lap as we go all over the final curb there, and we try and get onto the pit straight, go through the gears, and we're going to come across the line for 5th place. So not a good qualifying there, and that one mistake has cost us dearly, and we're going to be starting from the 3rd row of the grid in tomorrow's race. But Raikkonen and Sunny happy, so it must have been a good qualifying session. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the race.
Today was Nico Rosberg's day after a frantic final few minutes in qualifying. It was he who came out on top.
Well, he really pulled that one out of the bag. A very good result, and one that they'll be looking to build on for the race tomorrow.
Hello and welcome from Albert Park, Australia for today's race. And I think it's shaping up to be a classic. What a great start to the season for Nico Rosberg. He's on pole for today's race. He'll be delighted with how qualifying went yesterday, but knows there's a lot of hard work to come before he can secure that race win.
Well, Nico will be focused on the task at hand. He's on pole position, he's proven his speed, and if he can just stay out in front, he should be able to create a gap. So I think he's got a good chance of victory today, as long as he has no car issues along the way.
It was a disappointing day for Fernando Alonso yesterday. He's starting further down the grid than he would have liked, but he'll still be hoping for a strong result today.
Well, Fernando is a great starter, and he'll be looking to make up a few places on that first lap to try and get himself back into a position that he's more familiar with.
So here we are then, it's race day here at Australia, and Kimi Raikkonen's going to gear up to 5 red lights, and the 2015 season is underway here at Albert Park, and it's actually been an okay start there. A bit of a wiggle from us there at the start, but we managed to keep it under control. Massa's going to try and go up our inside, but we're going to try and hang it around the outside there, and we do manage to re-overtake Massa and take 5th place back as we now go through turn 2, down the second, down this second long straight as we approach turn 3. And can Kimi go up the inside? No, we can't, and we're going to have to try and overtake Bottas elsewhere on track. And the AR definitely a lot faster there on the first lap, especially in the first couple of corners, which is good to see, which makes it quite hard for all of us to try and overtake the AI, who used to be snails at the start of the race. As we go through the first sector split, can we try and overtake Bottas? We get right up on his gearbox as we go through turn 7. Can we make a move? We're still pretty much in the slipstream. We might be able to go up the inside of turn 8. Can we go for it? We're going to try and line them up, but no, we can't. Bottas actually defends the inside, and we run a bit wide. So Bottas defending well there, and we're just going to skip on to the end of lap number 1. And we're going to get a brilliant run. Can we go up the inside of Valtteri Bottas? No, we can't. Bottas once again braking really late and proving that the AI can race with you this year. And in these wet conditions, definitely that Williams is seemingly working a bit better than Ferrari thus far, a lap into the race as Rosberg sets the fastest lap of the race, going on to lap number 2. And can we try and overtake Bottas into turn 1? No, we can't. We're too far back. But we've actually had a really good first corner, and it's going to set us right onto the back of Bottas as we go down this second straight. Can we overtake him up the inside of turn 3 this time? Yes, we can. We brake really late up the inside. We lock up the rears a tad, which makes us wiggle a little bit on the braking, but we do manage to pass Bottas, but Bottas has come back at us up the inside, and we're going side by side as we go through this right hander. Bottas has gone really wide, which is going to allow me to go up the inside, and there's been a crash behind us. As you can see on the mini-map and the yellow flags, there's been a crash, so Bottas running out wide has caused a pile-up when he's rejoined onto the track, onto the racing line, and that is definitely not the sort of thing you want to see. But skipping on to lap 6, we're going to lose the rear end. And we've actually caught up to Vettel, who Vettel himself has actually caught up to both Mercedes. And as you can see, Vettel's going up the inside of Rosberg through the far chicane. That is a brilliant overtake there from our teammate, and an overtake that the AI would never normally do on the past F1 games. But in this game, they're definitely a bit more aggressive. And we're now on the back of Nico Rosberg. Can we try and overtake him anytime soon as we go through the third from last corner? And we're going to get a brilliant run on the German. Can we go up the inside of the penultimate corner? Yes, we can. And that's a good overtake from us, and not losing no time to our teammate. And we're going to try and keep up with him and hopefully try and pass him so we can get ahead on the teammate battle as we go through the final corner on lap 7. And we're going to get all over the back of Vettel. We're going to get a lovely kind of switchback line through the final corner, which is going to put us on the back of our teammate, and we're going to try and go up the inside of turn number 1. We're going to brake later than Vettel, and we're going to make the move up the inside, nice and clean there, and a very good overtake for second place. And we're now going to try and hunt down Lewis Hamilton, who is pretty much between us and the top step of the podium. And skipping on to the end of lap 10, as you can see, Hamilton's in the pits there, and we're going to follow him into the pit lane, into our pit box. And we're going to serve our stop here, and the pit stops are vastly improved on this game. They're so much more matched up to real life, and they're so much more faster. As you can see, there was pretty much a 2-second pit stop there from the Fry boys, and that is good stuff from them. As I'm actually starting to lose my voice, guys, sorry about that. As we have a bit of a wobble there coming out of the pit lane, and we're actually almost going to cross the white line, but we managed to keep it inside the white line, luckily enough, and we're rejoined in second place. So obviously other cars coming into the pits, and we're going to keep our position as we skip on to the end of lap 19. There's a yellow flag, as you can see, and we've got Lewis Hamilton in front of us being held up by a man, and there's 2 cars off on the right there. I think that's a Toro Rosso and Alonso, maybe, I'm not sure, I didn't catch that, but 2 cars there. They must have had a bit of a tangle, but we're going to capitalise on that because that slowed Hamilton right down. And as you can see, the manner is not letting Lewis Hamilton through, which is going to allow us to get really close to the 2014 World Champion. And that manner is still holding up Lewis Hamilton, as you can see, and we're now on the back of the race leader as we go down this back straight, and eventually now the manner moves out of the way, but it's too late because we're on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and we're going to try and overtake Lewis Hamilton for the lead of the race as we go through the fast chicane left right, and we're going to get a really good exit, which is going to put us on the back of Lewis Hamilton. We're getting in the slipstream, we're going to go to the outside. Can we get him under braking into the next corner? We're going to try and go around the outside. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can, and that is a brilliant overtake, and we're up into the lead into the race, but we've lost the rear end, and Hamilton's going to go into the back of us there, and a bit of a mistake, but we managed to still hold the lead, and Hamilton stayed in second place, so good overtaking there, except for a little mistake on the exit. And as you see on the end of lap 20, we come into the pits for another set of intermediates, which is our scheduled pit stop, and we've got Bottas ahead of us, who's a lap car going really slow, and it seems like he might have lost a bit of front wing or something, but we're in the pits, and we're going to fit on a fresh set of intermediate tyres, and Bottas actually put on the dry tyres, so I'm not sure what to say. I think I did the right call, but could it be a bit dry to put? Could it be a bit too dry to put the inters on? To me, it feels fine, and it felt fine at the time. So maybe the AR might have got the call wrong. So we're going to continue on nevertheless. And as we go through turn 1, as you can see, it's still raining out on track, and the track's still wet. So I think I'm on the right tyres. But skipping on to lap 22, it turns out, as you can see, Vettel is in second place, so he's jumped Lewis Hamilton. And it turns out that the track was indeed drying out, and Vettel was on a set of option tyres, and so was Lewis Hamilton. And we had to pit for again, which was an unneeded pit stop for us. But we're going to have to pit coming on to the option tyres for the end of the race. But that is going to mean we are going to concede the lead of the race to our teammate, and we could potentially lose second place to Lewis Hamilton also, which is not what you wanted after that brilliant race we've had with some really good controlled and good overtaking. But as you can see, we dropped down to second place, and there's Lewis Hamilton coming down the pit straight. Will he overtake us into turn 1? We have a bit of a shaky exit, and that is going to allow him to get past us around the outside of turn 1, and we've got to try and overtake Lewis Hamilton now, which is not brilliant, but I'm sure we can make this move once again as we did the first time round. And here we are then, coming around the final corner, and we've got a run on Lewis Hamilton. DRS is now enabled, so we can use the rear flap to try and get past the Mercedes, and we're going to do so as we got up the inside of turn 1 here, and we're going to make the move up into second place, and that is a brilliant overtake there for us, and we're up into second place, but there's only 2.5 laps left. Can we potentially catch Vettel? He's about 7.5 seconds down the road, and the answer is no as we come around the final corner on the last lap of the race. Vettel wins, and Raikkonen is going to come home for a brilliant second place here, and it is a 1-2 for Ferrari down under in Australia, and what was a brilliant result for the team, and I'm sure everyone will be happy with that, and that is a great result for them. And yeah guys, hopefully you enjoyed the first episode of this career mode. If you did, then please smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time, which will be at Malaysia, and that episode will probably be uploaded tomorrow, so tune in for that guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
That win also sees the 4-time Drivers' World Champion on top of the drivers' table. It's a fantastic start to the season for the German.
Well, Seb has definitely thrown down the gauntlet here to the other drivers. They've seen him dominate seasons before, so we'll be slightly worried whether this may be the start of another one.
After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.